SSM's Wednesday Global Africa program brings to you our news stories, exclusive reporting, and SSM perspectives on the day's top news. Plus, the inside scoop on Africa's most important developing stories. Join us on Wednesdays, 11 a.m. West African time. In a world where news flies around every minute, you need the ability to relate and connect with what matters and stay up to date. Schengen Story Media News Echoes program is Africans in Diaspora and at Home's leading English news network, one of the most trusted, respected sources for news updates on current affairs as they affect global Africa.
Hello, viewers around the world. You're welcome. Good day to you. Good day, George. We're here on our Wednesday midday hump day Africa update. George, how are you?
I'm awesome. Good morning, Massive Mark, and good morning, viewers from around the world. Welcome to our News Echo Wednesday Global Africa.
Nice. All right, George. A lot is going on, George. A lot, and we're to start. But viewers, you're welcome. This is SSM. We say this news fly around every minute. You need the ability to relate, connect with what really matters, and stay up to date. And that's what we do here. So let's go further with some of the news. We have the situation on about Nigeria. George, did you hear what our minister say? Let's play a clip of it, then we'll come to the story.
If the Nigerian government continues to allow the killing of Christians, the USA will immediately stop all aid and assistance to Nigeria. If they don't, there's going to be hell to pay.
It's unfortunate that President Trump has been misinformed. This false narrative that there's some persecution or a genocide.
Why isn't it a genocide against Christians in Nigeria?
We don't want to be the next Sudan.
You dispute the numbers that have been reported to have been killed, but you have no idea how many Christians have been killed.
We are not hiding any facts.
Right now, you have an Islamist government in Nigeria. There is a reason that we're seeing these Islamic militants going around and yelling Allahu Akbar. That's not by coincidence.
It's easy for her to sit thousands of miles away and play games with people's lives.
I performed several burials because the Islamic are controlling the government. Let me tell you, there's a genocide in Nigeria.
All right, before we continue, before we go into that story, let's bring in Femi Oke. Femi Oke, you're welcome to Wednesday, 19th of November broadcast. How are you?
Thank God. Everything's fine, thank you.
All right, so gentlemen, you just heard a
welcome.
sneak peek.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Yes, brother.
That was just a sneak peek to Piers Morgan's broadcast with the Minister of Foreign Affairs, Nigerian Foreign Affairs, Yusuf Tuga. George, let me start with you. I don't know, did you see all of the clip? It's a 45 minutes interview. Did you see it all? What's your take?
Yes. My take is the fact that, listen, we are in a world today where the world is so divided. You have the liberals and the conservatives, and you have news that are feeding each particular one without the other getting any news from across. And that's the way it's been designed, where if you are a conservative, you will hear conservative news and they will be coming to you directly without you hearing any liberal news, unless you intentionally go out there to search for something. Now, even sometimes when you search for something, they know your consumption pattern as a liberal, they will feed you that narrative. So what we're seeing here is something that has been going on in our country for many, many years, has been denied blind eyes to the facts about the whole entire situation. But what we fail to understand is the fact that we have invited US into Nigeria to be part of our own intelligence. They listen, they advise us. And so they know these things that are going on. They have more statistics than we do. We have no statistics of any kind. So when they are talking factual. But when we are talking, we're talking emotional. That is the difference between the two. Because we don't want to say, oh, okay, well, there's a Christian genocide in Nigeria. But all the facts are there to show you, yes, indeed, there is a deliberate, intentional act to destroy certain group of people called Christians in order to displace them in the Middle Belt. You know, are we going to deny that there are Muslims being killed? No. But who is killing who is the question. And why are they killing? Is it a
All right, George. All right, George. Thank you, George. That's very hot. Femi, you so probably that the interview. What's your take?
Look, I mean, the interview is the interview, and some of the facts that the minister gave were completely inaccurate. But I listened to the lady, I don't know what her name is, the white lady from America. But what she's saying is completely nonsense. Because your president is a Muslim and your vice president a Muslim doesn't make the Federal Republic as an Islamic state. I mean, it's ridiculous. I mean, that kind of assertion is complete nonsense. And it goes back to the talking points of the 2023 elections, where they say that people are going to Islamicize Nigeria. You can't vote APC because of the Muslim ticket. No one is turning Nigeria into a Muslim state. No one can make me a Muslim. I'm a Christian. No one's going to force me to become a Christian, Muslim. The thing is, yes, Nigerians are killing Nigerians, and they've been doing so before independence and after independence. You can call it an ethnic thing, a tribal thing. You can call it a religious thing, whatever you want to call it. The main issue is that Nigerians are indeed killing Nigerians. Now, in areas that are predominantly Christians, there are, like in the Middle Belt, the antagonist may even be a tribal issue. It could be communal clashes. It could be farmer-herder clashes. It could be minerals or whatever. But it just so happens that the majority of the people in that land are Christians, and those doing the killings tend to be Muslims, and that is an issue. So we can't deny that. That's a big issue. So I'm not denying that. I've never denied that. And killings will not stop until Nigerians themselves want to stop killing themselves. Whoever is in government, it doesn't mean, and the narrative that this government is rubbish because killing's still happening, and that all of a sudden, if we elect a new government tomorrow, the killings will stop. That's fantasy land. The killings will stop when the people who are doing the killings realize that killing ourselves makes no sense and it needs to stop. So, and that will only happen when the government or the military use overwhelming force to subdue these enemies of the state, wherever they might be, and not use one tactics for one, another tactics for another. Overwhelming force is the only solution. You can also, unless there's complete capitulation, where the parties can say that, you know what, we're not going ahead with the fight anymore. And that can only happen when they have been so decimated, then they themselves will come to the table and say, we don't want to do it again, or let me stop. If we don't use that approach, we're not going to stop these killings. And then there's opportunistic kidnappings and so on, which is more of an economic thing, where people have suddenly turned kidnapping into another kind of how can I put it? Yes, money.
Before we go into kidnapping, you're talking of overwhelming force, and that's what America is trying to come to do for us. So, because we don't have that overwhelming force now, gentlemen. Yesterday we had the news of this captured and executed Brigadier General Musa Oba. Musa Oba was captured. He was killed. In fact, he was killed on the full glare of media, and it's crazy. Now, that action was done by Islamic State, ISWAP terrorists in Borno, and this gives that indication that we can't handle this. George, we can't.
I want to ask a question. I want to ask this question. You see, it is time for us to stop being politically correct. Call facts facts. Call the truth the truth. Because the fact is, when we're trying to coin all this, it's all in the name of being politically correct. Now, number one is this. The question is, if somebody who is killing you believes that it is their fundamental religious act to eliminate you as an infidel, what are you going to do with that? That's number one. Number two, what about the forces that you are sending to decimate these people, but they are all in one of the same religious belief system. No more one is the authority given to you to come and the power given to you to come and eliminate somebody who you believe. You cannot come out and say it openly, but you believe that what they are doing is Allah's demand that infidels must be killed. So these are some of the conflicts that we are having in our community. The point about this whole thing is this: whether we calling it religious genocide, whether we call it whatever we want to call it, the truth of the matter is innocent lives are being displaced and innocent lives are being killed. And who are the ones killing it? And what is driving them? All this stuff started when Buhari believed that Jonathan was going to go to another 4 years to make his term, 10 years instead of 4. When he cried out, the blood of baboons will flow. He opened the door to Chad, Niger Republic, and some of these Islamic Fulani brothers. They flooded Nigeria. I was there live. I knew what happened. So what I'm saying to us is this: the time to call facts. Let's stop being politically correct. All these things we are sending emissaries to go here and then trying to deny, what we know factually and what we see factually, experientially. It is just doing harm to us as a nation. If we need help, open the door, let the forces come, eliminate these forces so that we can dwell in peace. Look at what just happened with the KB girls. I mean, is this like?
We'll come to that. We'll come to that, George. So, Femi, do you agree that you said overwhelming force? Do you also that if it's possible, there should be a super hand that can help us with that fight insurgency? Do you agree?
Yeah, no, I don't agree. The Americans are just playing politics with this whole thing, and it's all in favor of Trump just to create a narrative that, he's some kind of superhero who's coming to save black people, Africans, disgraceful Africans that don't know how to sort their own mess. That's a complete nonsense. It's never going to happen. Americans are not going to put boots on the ground to defeat terrorism. They're not going to fly their planes into our airspace to defeat terrorism. This is just a smokescreen for nonsense. The truth of the matter is Nigerian soldiers are dying daily. So there's a narrative out there that Nigerians are not doing anything about the terrorists. Oh, the terrorists are doing, they do whatever they want. Meanwhile, Nigerian soldiers are dying every single day. You mentioned that brigadier. He's just one. I've got pictures of ordinary foot soldiers who tried to go and interject the Kebbi kidnappers, all lying down with bullet-stricken bodies in the hospitals. The idea that we're not doing anything should be discounted. Now, the Kebbi kidnapping was not a Christian-Muslim scenario, was it?
We'll come to that. We'll come to that story.
Okay, fine. You don't want to talk about it, but I just need to bring that into the picture because George seems to be painting this as solely a Christian-Muslim scenario. And I think to do that would be to simplify the matter and to create something which is a multi-headed Hydra monster, and to say it's only about Muslim and Christian. That will defeat the process, the objective, and actually let us start fighting ourselves when actually the enemy is multifaceted and each one of them must be tackled, and actually be different strategies for each one. What's happening in the Northeast is not what's happening in North Central. What's happening in South is not what's happening in Northwest. Each one of these scenarios, and any military person will tell you, have different solutions. The culprits are not the same. And it's wrong to go out there into the world and say, no, it's all one thing. It's just a Christian genocide. I can tell you that definitely there are places where there will be, we can call it, in specific places, a kind of genocide. But that's not the overall complex situation that is Nigeria.
It's not. You see, what you're doing is you are politicizing. You're being.
I'm not at all. What is the political angle?
Hold on.
There's no political angle at all.
No, listen. I've known you to be a man that hits the nail on the head with a hammer. But right now, what you are doing is hair splitting. You're trying to dilute. No, hold on. You're trying to dilute the whole entire thing, because we've been following this for many, many years. You and I, as Nigerians, we know the narratives. We know the motivation behind it all. Whether we like to call it that or not is another political issue. The fact of the matter is, there has been, since the ID camp started, how many of them have returned to their ancestral lands? That's one question. Hold tight. Let me finish so you can answer me. Let's leave, KB State, let's leave Katsina, let's leave what's happening in that area. Let's come to the middle belt. Because whether it's in the southeast or southwest or south-south or middle belt, the facts of the matter are there on the table. We know it. It is Islamized, Islamic terrorists that are going to displace these farmers in order to feed on their land. We know that. Whether we
Okay.
like it or not, whether we're going to paint the pictures the way so it will fit,
Can I?
both of us are APC. I'm APC. I'm announcing I'm APC. But when I see the truth, I call the truth truth. So what I'm saying is this. Number one, the system, the strategy, and they are using to do this is not what they're doing in Katsina or whatever. They go to the middle belt in the middle of the night. They kill, they maim, they burn their houses, and make sure they don't come back again. Tell me if that's not
Judge, they're not even doing it in the middle of the night. Judge, we will come to the story of Ikwara. Ikwara was yesterday.
Hold on,
Sunday.
Every time America advises Nigeria on some, security systems, you see internal displacement. Internally, they are telling these people what to do, how to do it, when not to come, and what do you call that? Is it not some kind of complicit with some authority that are alerting these people about when to come and when not to come? It is all there glaring in our eyes. Why are we denying the truth?
If you want me to speak and answer, look,
Go ahead,
Benue State was ruled by the PDP. Autumn was there, and there were massive killings. Okay, he used that as a political thing to say that okay, the killings are motivated by this, that. There's a new governor there. He's a Christian. It does not stop the killings. Now, I'm saying to you that in the middle belt, you might call Benue Plateau. It might suit your narrative to say that it's a Christian onslaught. I mean, an onslaught to exterminate Christians. I would rather say that actually it's more of a farmer-herder scenario. And the farmers are Christian because that's just a fact. And the herders are Muslim. That's just another fact. That doesn't mean they're doing it when they're doing it in the name of Allah. They're doing it because they want to exterminate the people so that they can have their cows there. And that's why I'm completely against open grazing. I'm a farmer myself. Open grazing is something that must be ended. And it must end right now. And also in the middle belt, for your information, there's also clashes between the Tivs and the Jukuns and other tribes. But if you lump them all in, and they're Christians upon Christians, but if you lump them all in and say that it's a complete onslaught against Christians, that is a narrative that suits a political agenda, and it's all well and good. But it's not going to all go well. What is really important is that Nigerians are killing Nigerians wherever they are, innocent Nigerians. That killing must stop. It doesn't have to be about religion or whatever the reason. It's irrelevant, the reason. The main thing is that killing must stop. And all power must be used to stop that killing, irrelevant of who's causing it. I mean, because when you talk about IDPs, most of the IDPs in Nigeria are Muslims. Most of the people in IDPs, if you go and check the millions that are in IDPs, majority of them are Muslims. So it's irrelevant that they are. Look at what's most scandalous. I'll tell you what is the most scandalous thing, is that when these herders or whoever they are ransack a village or a town, they now change the name, okay, to some bogus name. And to me, the fact that the authorities can allow that to stand should be even more scandalous. They should override those communities and rename them back to their original names. There should be none of that happening anywhere in Nigeria. And this is part of the problem. And you might say that's complicity. I would say it's because the government, or whether it's state, local government, almost seem like they're incapacitated, haven't got the capacity to enforce the law. I mean, look at what happened at PDP Secretariat yesterday. It's ridiculous.
Okay. Let me
come to that. All right, gentlemen.
Let me just respond quickly in 2 minutes. Okay. What I'm saying is this. Okay. They come, they kill, they maim, they burn down houses. They change the names of the place. If it smells like a rat, it is a rat. What I'm saying to you, Femi, is this. We can call it any name, politically correct name. We want to call it clashes, like Buhari coined it, clashes, or whatever the case might be. The point of the matter is, who are the ones doing the killing? Most of these guys that are living in the forest are not even Nigerians. The door was opened for them to come in from Niger, from Chad, from Benin Republic.
That's not true.
It was a known thing. Why are you denying facts?
The people are killing Nigerians are Nigerians. The majority of them are Nigerians. And I agree with you. I agree with you that in the north, Muslim Nigerians are the ones killing other Nigerians, Muslims and Christians. That is a definite fact. And I've posed the question that is there a difference between Muslims in the north and Muslims in the south? Because southern Muslims are not going around killing southern Christians. What is the difference between a Muslim of the north and a Muslim in the south? Are they not reading from the same Quran? Are they not reading from the same Islamic scriptures? What is actually the difference between a Muslim from the north and a Muslim from the Christian? That a Muslim in the south will not go and kill someone and tell him that he's committed blasphemy because he said something against Muhammad. But someone in the north will stone that person to death. This is ridiculous. And the laws need to be enforced to let them know that we're in a secular state. We're in a secular state. Government cannot allow this to continue.
All right, beautiful. You both have the passion. I mean, it's our country, and we want to see change. Let's go ahead now to other stories.
Very close to one another in our belief system. Only the
all right, George.
Go ahead. Go ahead.
I want to let the viewers also be carried along. Viewers, we are talking what's happening in Nigeria. We're talking about the situation now. Take note of this. Tomorrow, 20th of November, by I think that will be 11 a.m. United States. There'll be a subcommittee. The United States House of Representatives, will be having a hold on Africa, mainly Nigeria. Nigeria is, like they say, a country of particular interest. So you want to tune up with us tomorrow, 11 a.m. United States time. I don't know what that time will be in different parts of the world, but we will be here broadcasting live hearing from the subcommittee on Nigeria. So if you want to follow up that, you're free to join us. Gentlemen, come to all the stories you guys were putting on. But before we go, let's look into what's happened as at today. Today, our president goes to attend the summit in South Africa, the G20. G20 summit in South Africa is holding, and Bola Ahmed Tinubu is there in South Africa. From there, he will be going to the African Union meeting with European Union in Angola. George, all these travels, where does this take us to particularly? I mean, we need to have...
Well, listen. Our president is a very active president, okay? All these, the way you see the world today, you know, his appearances in some of these meetings, and most of them is very important. The president, you know, he's heading on two country trips, starting from Johannesburg for the historic first ever G20 summit on African soil before traveling to Lauda, Angola for, you know, EU summit. So the man is globetrotting. But let me tell you something, okay? Without him doing these things, he's a businessman and a politician at the same time. So he understands that some of these appearances are helping us on a global economic and financial world. So he's doing the job that he's supposed to do. I accord him that. What I am against is sometimes when he travels and he goes extensively in many places where we're not getting any results from. And at the G20, Tinubu will join the world leaders under the theme of solidarity, equality, and sustainability, with the key discussion around debt relief, you know, climate action, food system, energy transition, and artificial intelligence. All these things are very, very important for us. The president also will hold several bilateral meetings on the sideline, pushing Nigerian renewed hope agenda and strengthening talks on regional peace, security, and development. So these things are very, very important. Let him continue doing what he's doing. When he makes us strategic traveling, it is important for us. It is very, very important for us. So what traveling with a handful of people, that's cool. Let's not waste money taking thousands of people.
Yeah. What do you say to this, Femi?
Yeah, so I'm sure the opposition narrative will be to try and make out like, oh, there's kidnapping in Kebbi, the killing of the general. Why is the president going over abroad? I mean, this is a ridiculous situation. Look, the president of Nigeria has to do his job. His job is also in securing the nation. That doesn't. He delegates authority for people to secure the nation. He doesn't have to physically be sitting down in Kebbi and physically go into all these places in order to secure the nation. He has to do his job. There's an important summit in South Africa, the G20. I think it's the first time a Nigerian president is going to be invited to such. He must attend, and he's attending to represent Nigeria, the largest country in Africa. And if he didn't attend, it would be remiss of him. He's also going to go to the other summit, as George has said. I mean, I'm quite impressed that George is mentioning renewed hope and so on. I mean, this is quite interesting to me.
Hey,
but and I know that the opposition is represented here by your good self, Massive Matt Godwin. So at least this is kind of balanced. We don't have any PDP in the house, so because that's the People's Dead Party anyway. So I'm sure we're going to talk about them as well. Look, the president's doing his job. I mean, to be honest, the president has done a yeoman's job in these last 2 years. And to think that when we had the 2023 elections, people were talking of him as being senile, he can't talk, babaloo, babala, whatever, he doesn't know what he's doing. I've always said from day one, he's an accountant like myself. He worked for Mobile, in the top echelons of Mobile. He knows what he's doing. The economy is moving forward. The cost, I'm not happy now because guess what? Inflation is falling down, food prices falling. So the Gary which I produced, the prices are falling. So all those people there, they cry, say, inflation. Prices are coming down now, and it's good. So at the end of the day, Nigeria is moving forward. It's been hard, of course, but a president has to do the tough things that people don't want to do, and he does it not to become popular. Because all these ones trying to be popular to win election by popularity, there's a mess up in the country, is insecure, paint it in the worst case possible just to win an election. And when you get there, you can't deliver. That's not the way to win elections in Nigeria. And anyone doing that is going to fail, I guarantee you.
Right, viewers watching, we are talking about President Bola Ahmed Tinubu attending the G20 summit in South Africa, and right after that, he will be at Angola for the African Union EU meeting, and so he's gone now. He's on his way now. All of this meeting will take him at least 4 or 5 days, and he'll be back. Gentlemen, let's do a small one before we go. Let's talk about what happened in Kebbi State. George was bringing up that, or Femi was bringing up that Kebbi State happened to us again. They bring back the girls. These men, at the point when they get so filled up, with hormones and all of this, they go to one female school and grab ladies and make them wife by force. Femi, that's what we're saying. That's what we're talking about. Insecurity. Okay. I mean, even if you have to marry, it has to be mutual. It has to be planned, and
Yeah. So some people said that the Dapchi girls and the Chibok girls was politically motivated. We could say that this could possibly be the same. But in any case, you have to ask yourself, why are there no more kidnappings in Borno State? Why? Because the governor in Borno State took the initiative to take away these kind of schools where you have, boarding house schools, away from the hinterland and brought them into city centers where they're fully protected. You can't have a boarding school in the middle of nowhere and expect that it's going to be protected. That is the fault of the government of Kebbi State. They should realize the extent of insecurity, and they should have made sure that they brought those schools into secure places, because they're putting the lives of these kids at risk. I mean, it should not be the case that people, because more or less they're readily and available targets. If they will, in cities, in confined locations with security rings, you have centers of security rings around it. So if you come in through this section, you got to get through to another section before you get to another section. By the time they go to all that, those bandits or whoever wouldn't even bother to do it. However, if you got an isolated school in the middle of nowhere, it's an easy target. So all other states in Zamfara, in all the other Benue, all those other states should now be on the lookout for possible repeat scenarios. Same thing with churches now. People are attacking churches. You got to ask yourself, why would you attack a church? If not that it could be politically motivated in order to create the scaremongering tactics that Nigeria is insecure, and guess what? This government must go. All these things have reasons, and there are secret hands behind them. And the thing is, the sponsors of terrorism must be rooted out and executed or prosecuted. That must happen. And until we do that, we're going to see more of this leading up to 2027.
George, thank you, Femi. George, before you come in, let's take a break first of all. But George, we're going to see the clip of the Kebbi school thing. The vice principal was killed. So we got a clip from the wife crying, explaining what happened. Sad news, man. Sad, real sad. But viewers, sit tight. Let's take a break, just few minutes. We'll be back on the other end. George will carry us through. Thank you very much, gentlemen. Thank you.
SSM's Wednesday Global Africa program brings to you our news stories, exclusive reporting, and SSM perspectives on the day's top news. Plus, the inside scoop on Africa's most important developing stories. Join us on Wednesdays, 11 a.m. West African time.
Nigeria, we hail thee, our own dear native land. Though tribe and tongue may differ, in brotherhood we stand. Nigerian soul are proud to serve our sovereign motherland.
This country has some of the most extraordinary culinary diversity in the world. I'm talking about Nigeria. This first dish is amala abula, made popular by the Yoruba people in southwest Nigeria. It starts with amala made from dried yam and then is covered in a variety of soups. Next we have ofe nsala, a white soup that is synonymous with the Igbo people of southeastern Nigeria. It goes best with fufu, or akbo as the Igbos call it. Next we have suya, the most well-known food of the Hausa and Fulani people of northern Nigeria. Meat is covered in a peanut-based powder called yaji and cooked over an open fire. This is banga and starch, a classic of the Urhobo people of Delta State. Lastly, we have onunu, a plantain-based swallow of the Izon people in South Nigeria. We are eating it with fisherman soup, popular throughout this whole region. And of course, we don't forget the jollof rice. This is popular everywhere in Nigeria. I think what makes Nigeria so great is the diversity of all the different people coming together. These beautiful ethnic groups living side by side, sharing culture and cuisine is what makes Nigeria such an amazing country to visit. Nigerians should be so proud of that cultural heritage, as there is so much more that unites than divides them.
In aviation, this is the London Gatwick Airport. Over 30 million people fly through its single runway annually, and it's owned by a Nigerian. In robotics, this is Apple's Mechamon, world first gaming robot sold exclusively by Apple. It was made by a Nigerian, Silas Adekunle. In leadership, the first African to lead the World Trade Organization as Director General. She's Nigerian. Africa's richest man and business tycoon, Aliko Dangote, is Nigerian. In sports, Victor Osimhen, the highest goal scoring African in Series A, and is currently leading the most goals scored by an African in a single season. He's a Niger boy. A two-time former unified world heavyweight champion, Anthony Oluwafemi Joshua. He's a Nigerian. In music, Rema holds the record for the most streams on Spotify by an African artist. He's Nigerian. In medicine, Dr. Oluyinka, he did an unquote impossible operation. He's Nigerian. In tech, Africa's most valuable fintech organization, Flutterwave, has an evaluation of over $3 billion and was founded by, of course, a Nigerian. In food, Hilda Basi of Nigeria holds the Guinness World Record for the longest cooking time, 93 hours 11 minutes. She's Nigerian. Let's make sure the narrative that comes out of a country is the best.
In a world where news flies around every minute, you need the ability to relate and connect with what matters and stay up to date. Schengen Story Media News Echoes program is Africans in Diaspora and at Home's leading English news network. one of the most trusted, respected sources for news updates on current affairs as they affect global Africa.
George, welcome back. George Femi, welcome back. We're talking about the situation, what just happened in Kebbi State. Kebbi State is north of Nigeria. The girls were abducted. We had this update that 2 of the girls have escaped from the captivity. And we also heard that our Vice President Shetima is visiting there today. Now, when that incident happened, the vice president of the school, the vice principal, was killed while he was trying to rescue these girls from the hands of the terrorists. Let's hear the wife say what she said. She's speaking in Hausa language anyway, but we'll
sun ka ja ta sun ka hito bayan sun hito na bude kofar baya na hita ko da na hita na yi tahiya na duba gehen katanga su ne zagaye gehen katangar nan na zo zan taka da ni in hita sun ka gyara bindiga ina yin haka na gane su na juyo baya na dawo ta gehen gidan ga guda na zo zan taka da ni in hita sun ka gyara bindiga na juyo na dawo cikin gida daga ni sai daure gaba ban da dan kwali ban da takalma na hito ko da na hito sun.
Translation.
That's the wife of the vice principal that was killed. Now she's been turned to a widow with a baby. George, Kebbi State and all of that situation. What will you say?
Well, we received the information. President Tinubu actually condemned the abduction of these school girls in Kebbi State. He's describing it as a heartless terrorists, and has directed Vice President Kashim Shettima to visit the state to console, and condole with families, and assures them of swift rescue efforts. So that's really one of the major issues, because I know that he's going to he's being attacked about, oh, you're traveling outside of the country when you have such an emergency. But that's why the vice is there. Tinubu expressed deep sadness and receiving full military briefing. After receiving full military briefing about this whole entire kidnapping saga, so he understood that Brigadier Musa, Uba, and other soldiers in Bono, they were also killed during the insurgency. So what we're seeing here is a continuous attack on innocent lives by these Islamic militants. The president lamented over this situation, over the abduction, and I mean, I think this man, given the opportunity locally, internally, he's dealing with a lot of issues. Let me tell you that. Number one, most of the people that are being sent after these other people I would say that most of them, they sympathize with the terrorists, whether it's open or not. It's almost, I am telling you, listen to me, they call them brothers. They call them brothers. If you are a Muslim being taught in your mosque that killing certain type of people, that you will have 7 virgins. Okay, you have 7 virgins once you die. And you consider that, that what you're doing pleases your God. How are you going to change the narratives in the mindset of these people? That is one of the major problems we're facing. Number one, this brigadier has been killed. Some soldiers were killed. These girls were adopted. For what purpose? And who are doing the killings and who are doing the abductions? What is the motivation behind them? Unless you know the motivation behind them, it will be very difficult for you to attack and destroy this nonsense that is going on in Nigeria. And let me tell you something else. If tomorrow Trump announces that he's coming to Nigeria, you will see 99% of these people, they will mingle with the communities and they know them. They will go back home. You wouldn't see them in the forest anymore until the whole entire situation finishes and they'll return back. These people are nomads. To them, living in the forest is not a big deal. That's the kind of lifestyle most of them are used to. So this thing is just like a normal lifestyle. They They are nomads, it doesn't matter to them. What I'm saying again is this. If we cannot, and it looks like we cannot, let's get foreign help. Simple, short. If we cannot, it's proven that we cannot.
Simple, short. Right, yeah. George. Simple, short. Let's get foreign help. I'm on that side too.
Hold on.
I'm on that side too, George.
Whether we like it or not, question is, where are they getting all these high military equipments that they are using, that even our own soldiers cannot even combat with them in the battlefield? That's the question.
This narrative is not going to fly. One, I want you to name one country where foreign intervention has solved their internal problems. Just one. Start naming them. It's not going to work. It's just a pie in the sky solution. The solution lies within Nigeria. Nigerians are the ones who are going to solve Nigerians' problems. The idea that the people combating them are their brothers and they're not dying. Look, I just told you. There are images of Nigerians who are both Muslim and Christian soldiers dying to protect the lives of you and I daily. You understand? So the idea that, oh no, they're just not engaging in the war and they're just paddy with each other, that's not true. The brigadier himself, I'm sure he's a Muslim from his name. He's been slaughtered. They didn't think about him when they were slaughtering him. They didn't say, oh, you're Muslim, we're going to leave you, you can stay alive. They slaughtered him same way. So the point is, these people are terrorists. They need to be eliminated. Or their leaders and funders need to be prosecuted, and with the fullest weight of the law. And this must go for all terrorists, not just because they're Muslims. If you're a Christian and you're a terrorist, like Mazi and Nnamdi Kanu in the southeast, you must face the law and be prosecuted. If you're Shekau or whoever you want to call yourself, you must be prosecuted and eliminated if necessary. The thing is, Shekau has been eliminated anyway, and many of those ISWAP people have been eliminated. And we've got many incidences. I mean, I think there was a terrorist funder who escaped from Koje prison was recently arrested again. He was the same mastermind between I think there was a church attack, and also there was in Urumi, the bank robbery in Urumi. So he's been apprehended. So look, it's not to say. The thing is, the effort must be more. But we're in a situation where government funds are very minuscule. They have a deficit budget of 18 trillion, which means they have to borrow. People are screaming, don't borrow, don't borrow. Meanwhile, you want government to spend more money. Where is the money going to come from if not more borrowing? So we need to borrow more money to fight more terrorists. You understand? And some people even say that the military situation is like a self-propelling thing, that people are profiting from the war against terrorism. So there's so many complexities. No one's going to fly in from America or anywhere for that matter. Go to Mali, the French tried it, they failed. Go to Niger, the French tried it, they failed. The Russians are there, they're failing. There is no country on this planet where you're going to come in from outside and solve internal problems, especially in a vast country the size of Nigeria. You're not going to find these terrorists, and it's going to be like finding a needle in a haystack. So you can kill some, you can kill one or two. But you're not going to kill them all.
All right. Man. Let's go to other topics. Let's go to other issues.
Yeah, I just wanted to ask him a question. Femi, it's proven that we cannot fight this insurgency on our own terms, with our own weapons. It's already there. We see it happening day and day. The more, even with the publicity that this thing is gaining, and these people to have the impetus to even continue to do this, tells you that we are incapable. So you need foreign hand. So George, like it or not, you are incapable. You cannot.
I understand, George. I want to answer you.
Before you answer me, some of the people that you are sending out there are sympathizers. Like it or not.
George, I just want to answer your question. There was the so-called danger of Islamist Fulani invasion of the Southwest. Is that narrative still happening today? No, it's not. It's because the Southwest together unified to make that come to an end. So like I'm saying to you, in the Southeast, they have not unified to stop the nonsense that's happening there. So it will continue. In the North as well, they have not unified to stop what's happening there. And I actually believe that we must start arming ourselves. I actually believe we should have an arm, and people should have the right to defend themselves. And I can guarantee you, if the people of Benue and Plateau defended themselves, this thing will come to an end.
Thing will come to an end, gentlemen. This will come to an end, hopefully someday.
I mean, if they were armed to defend themselves, they will come to an end.
Yeah, let's come to other issues in Nigeria today. Viewers, today is Global Africa. We'll focus more on Nigeria because the situation in Nigeria is really, Italians will say periculous. That's very crucial and dangerous too. But along the line, things are happening. Yesterday, we saw violence in with one of the political parties in Nigeria, PDP, People's Democratic Party. People's Democratic Party had an event. They had their meeting, and there was violence because there are fractions now in PDP, some different kind of groups. And but that violence erupted, and it affected activities in Abuja, the Federal Capital Territory of Nigeria. George, did you follow up that whole thing with all the tear gassing and all?
Yes. He said that tension erupted in the PDP National Secretariat in Abuja, and that was yesterday, as rival factions clashed and police fired tear gas to disperse supporters, blocking the entrance in a heated leadership struggle. The chaos kicked off when Governor Sheyi Makinde and Bola Mohammed arrived with the new elected PDP National Chairman, Kabiru Turaki, only to be met by resistance from supporters of the senator of Samuel Anyanwu faction. So, PDP is going down. Security teams, loyal to the FCT minister, Nyesom Wike, also, the governor faced off, creating a standoff that forced officers to deploy tear gas, around the Wadata Plaza to restore calm. So Wike arrived in that place. He stayed there for about 30 minutes, but he never came out of his vehicle. So they saw him. So we saw that, part of what is happening with PDP right now is an internal struggle. And also, Wike is at the forefront of this whole entire thing. But unless they calm themselves down, the opposition is no longer opposition. So I don't know what they are now.
Thank you, George. Femi, do you think with this kind of commotion, fractions everywhere, do you think PDP will make way come 2027? How do you? I know you. Go ahead.
I've long told you that the PDP is the People's Dead Party. I've said that long time. They've done the mourning. Now I think they're doing the 40 nights or how many days after the burial. They're doing their vitriol, killing themselves. Look, we must. There's been this narrative out there, and it's been pushed by the opposition, mostly PDPians, that Nigeria's fast coming to become a one-party state. This couldn't be further from the truth. There are 18 political parties, as far as I remember, 18 political parties. They will be on the ballot in 2027. So it's not a one-party state. The thing is, PDP was there for how many years? 16 years. They had 33 governors at one stage. No one at that time was screaming it's a one-party state. They were even telling us that they were going to rule Nigeria for 60 years. 60 years, they said. In the end, we can see that that was all fabulousness and nothing happened there. So at the end of the day, what APC must be wary that they don't fall into the same trap as what happened with PDP. Power is not inevitable, it's not guaranteed. You have to perform. Now, the opposition themselves, they need to unite around and make themselves into a viable opposition. Since the 1960s, progressives and people have never united around to get over power. Now, what happens is that they're always fighting themselves, whether it was Zeke and Owl, whether it was whoever else, they're always at each other's throats instead of uniting. It was only when APC decided to say, you know what, we need to unite, CPC, APC, APGA, and all of them, that they became a viable opposition to PDP. Now it's time for your party, ADC, PDP, remnants, Labour Party, and so on, to unite. But guess what? They can't even. They thought they would come together and under ADC, and now they're still a headless chicken. I mean, there's no momentum of ADC. No governor has decamped to ADC. No legislators decamped to ADC. ADC is a busted flush. There's no momentum there. And Labour Party is in comatose. PDP is dead. So that even this SDP, they got wahala, and NM people have got wahala. Until they unite and rally against who? They're going to rally together for Peter Obi. Peter Obi that couldn't even win his own ward in the last Anambra state governorship election. He couldn't, not even his ward. He couldn't even win his polling booth. So that's the person we're going to rally around as our opposition.
Well, let me add that more. When you give the information, don't say things you probably don't know. You're not following ADC. We've had several governors.
They're not going anywhere. You're not going anywhere. You can talk freely for your party. Talk for them. Everything I've said has been factual. There's nothing I've said that was not factual.
Okay, let's go to some international news, George. Let's go to some international news. Our time is right. Yes. Let's see this clip before we come to the story. Let's see this.
On this vote, the yeas are 427, the nays are 1. 2/3 being in the affirmative, the rules are suspended, the bill is passed, and without objection, the motion to reconsider is laid on the table.
Yes, what you just saw, viewers, is these are the moment when the floor erupted with cheers as the United States House votes to release the Epstein file. Now, what that means is a lot of things will be opened up, but what we know is that Trump still has the authority to the release. He still has to make the final say, but that's the House there, except one House of Rep member that chose not to say yes. And George, you think this file will explain a lot of things? What do we hope to see in the coming weeks by the time?
Okay. This whole entire saga will end up in nothing. Did you hear what I just said? It will end up in nothing. Long enough time for them to change whatever that needs to be changed. Not long enough time for them to remove whatever that needs to be removed. Long enough time for them to shift whatever that needs to be shifted, and it is already done. So whether we like it or not, let the files be open. It will end up in nothing, because if there's anything they're fighting against, is for an individual to be extricated from this whole entire thing. If there's anything criminal against him that will malign him or bring him shame, it's already been changed. So the point we are making is, we have seen it happen again and again. It will come to pass and nothing will come off of it, because the only reason why it's being delayed is simply because of Trump's involvement in it. And Trump is not going to sit and allow something that will come and destroy him and destroy his presidency and his image to continue to fester. So Epstein's files, he will sign it and it will be opened. Now, whether you're going to argue, oh, they removed this, or they changed this, or they erased this, or that is the next thing. So can you prove it? That's the next question. But as for the files, they are ready for the public, and it's going to come out because Trump will sign it. Why is that? Because internally what needs to be done is already done. I'm not saying anything. I'm just saying whatever that needs to be done is already done. Thank you.
Whatever that needs to be done is already done. What do you think? The House all overwhelmingly said release the files, and we know some of the stories in those files.
Yeah, I think today is the year of the man, so it's quite interesting. It's quite a revealing thing. I think that the files will be released, like what George said. I'm not sure whether we will have sections of that be redacted, so we won't know what is in them. We don't even know whether Donald Trump will sign it. I think he still has to sign this act into law. He might not. He's not compulsory that he will do so. We shall see. And I think the Senate has to also ratify it as well. So let them release it. Whatever is there, let's see what's there. But he was cavorting with Epstein for years. Whether there's anything bad on against him, only time will tell. But I don't think it's gonna bother his presidency. It will just be a scandal like what happened with what's his name, Bill Clinton, and he'll continue. Do you understand?
Well, he's been the last man standing.
Clinton,
and he will continue to be the last man standing, whether we like it or not, because that's the new system that we're in. Thank you.
I'm no fan of Donald Trump anyway. So, but he's the president and he's got a right to do what he's doing. Let him continue. He's only there for 4 years. He will finish his 4 years and he'll be away.
All right, gentlemen, let's begin to wrap it up. Yesterday, I don't know, did any one of you have issues with your Gmail, your chat, whatever, AI and all of those accessories we use? Did any one of you have those problems? I had the problem anyway, and what we found out is there's a major company that controls internet activities called Cloudflare. Cloudflare had a bug yesterday, and that bug made a lot of utilities, a lot of softwares, and what we use to go down. Your Gmail could have been down yesterday. Maybe you didn't notice it. Your video game, your OpenAI, your Google, all went down yesterday for a long period of time. So why we're saying this is giving our viewers that update that yes, there was a bug that affected a lot of software. So what you might need to do is probably some of your softwares could be passwords, you could change them, you could change the username and all of that, because when there's this bug, it goes into people's accounts. It makes sure they disrupt things, scatter things, So yesterday, Cloudflare went down because there was some bug that affected them, and Cloudflare handles a lot of accessories, a lot of websites, a lot of softwares that we use.
Like Edge,
all right, gentlemen,
GPT, and all the rest of them.
Yeah. George, tell us your final word for today. What do you want to say?
My final word is still the same. I'm praying for the president of Nigeria. I'm praying for his family, for the safety of all the leaders in our country, all the way to the to the villages, that God will continue to grant them wisdom and then to expose any corruption that is destroying our nation, that the government may be able to sweatlessly be able to take us to that place where we want to be. And I'm also praying for the country that I'm dwelling in, Canada, where I'm a citizen also. I'm praying for the United States of America. Let's look in the same direction together. Let's eradicate corruption. Let's stop the Christian and Muslim killings in Nigeria, that we may be able to live in a safe environment. That is my final word.
Nice. Thank you, George.
I echo those sentiments, and also I want to remonstrate about the Super Eagles who messed up against DRC. I mean, that was a shameful exposure. But I'd already predicted that if they eliminate Osimhen, the Eagles are not flying. Their wings have been clipped, and I'm just hoping that when Morocco comes, AFCON is coming in December, that the Eagles will fly again and soar. And hopefully Nigeria too will fly again and soar too. And that the death and the killings must stop. And that we should realize that unity trumps disorder and disunity. All the energy that people are spending on scatter Nigeria, if they spend half of that on unifying the country, Nigeria would truly be a great place to live and be.
Wow, gentlemen, great. Viewers, this is it. Wednesday Hump Day, the 19th of November. We've come here. George from Toronto, Canada. Femi Oke, conveyor of the Better Niger from London, UK. Guys, thank you. And we'll be here Friday, but we'll be here tomorrow. Tomorrow, we want to just watch what the House of Rep in the United States will be about Nigeria and the security. Okay. So if you have that time, be with us.
Also, tomorrow, Mazin Amdekano's judgment is tomorrow. We've got to look out for that too.
Yeah, let's look out for that. Femi, you keep your eyes on that for us. Let's know what the verdict will be on him. Yes, a lot of occurrences around the world, and SSM is here to keep you guys updated. So till we come again, have a beautiful hump day. See you guys in other program. Bye-bye.
God bless.
Bye-bye.